Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm Damien, and this is Ray, and this is Toy Stories, and today we're going to be doing G.I. Joe, the movie.
G.I. Joe,
All right.
the movie.
From 1987.
Originally serialized.
Yes.
4 episodes, 5 episodes?
5.
5 episodes.
And it's only an hour and 39 minutes, I think. I watched it the other night. And if you're watching this, subscribe. That helps us out. You could be number 5. Yeah, it's kind of weird they could chop that into 5
We need a
episodes.
guest. A really important guest.
We should have. Too bad we weren't doing this when we went to that toy convention and all those douchebag voice actors that were charging $50 for it.
$50 an autograph on an item that was yours. Per person.
Or you had to purchase it there.
Yeah, which I just wanted my DVD
What?
box set signed. And so I was like, I was prepared to pay $10 a piece. I was like, I'm doing this. I was all in for $50 for 50 whole US dollars. When I found out they were $50 a piece, it would have literally cost me $250 to get a DVD box signed. That I already owned the DVD. Larry Hama charged me nothing to sign a stack of shit. So there's no way.
Like, Larry Hama autograph is way better than people are more. Nobody knows the name of the person that played JJ.
It would literally be like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy all want $100 than Walt Disney over here, or you can get mine for free.
The only one that would have been cool to get is the guy that plays Cobra Commander's voice.
He wasn't there, was he?
No, he's dead.
Dead?
Well, the guy that played Cobra Commander's voice, he played like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons, like the first
really?
season.
Okay.
He's also in Roadhouse.
Oh, okay.
There's a scene at the beginning where he's like, "Hey,
You didn't kiss him. Are you kidding? Get a kiss. Here now. Come on. Get a kiss. Go ahead.
G.I. Joe the movie, serialized. 5 episodes, came on in the morning, at least for me.
hosted by Sergeant Slaughter,"
Hosted by Sergeant Slaughter.
which I hated Sergeant Slaughter at the time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent now, but God, he was annoying.
I'm kind of indifferent now. Yeah, well, time heals all wounds.
But man, he was annoying. In every commercial break, it's like, "Shut up."
We'll be right back.
I can't even remember what he would like threaten you.
Yeah.
"Don't you get up and go anywhere." It's like, why would I? I gotta get ready for school.
My bus won't be here for another 6 minutes.
I'm gonna get dressed during the commercial, so I have to leave the room occasionally.
So be here tomorrow and see who we got lined up against Cobra. Don't you?
I remember watching this and thinking, wow, this is cool. This is a lot cooler, because it had gotten to the point that, I'd have G.I. Joe on because, but I wouldn't actively watch it. I'd seen all the episodes, and it was just on in the mornings, and it would be just on. And then when it was clearly different, and so I don't think I caught the open. I didn't catch the intro until the next morning, because it had a brand new intro that was, to this day, phenomenal. We should link to that below. Sure.
I'll link to that, and I'll link to YouTube 4K version of the movie in its entirety with no Sergeant Slaughter, and just the movie played straight.
So I remember catching this episode, and then I got on the bus, and there was a kid named Chris. He used a couple of different last names, so I don't have to use either, but normally I'd use the last name right here because that's just how I talk. Anyway, Chris was on, and I sat down behind him on the bus, as we normally might, and do our normal, school bus thing, and just partway into the ride, he turns around and goes, "Did you see G.I. Joe this morning?" And I was like, "It was fucking awesome!" I was so thrilled about it. It was different. It had like a different tone. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, you could kind of, because it came out right around the time of like Transformers the movie. I think it came out right after.
Certainly after, yeah, because I saw Transformers. I just have a date stamp because I moved from 5th grade to 6th grade. Yeah, okay. And I remember getting on the bus from my 6th grade house.
Yeah, because I think Transformers was like...
it was a little earlier. Which was also a great movie.
Because G.I. Joe, that movie was supposed to be a theatrical release.
Okay, yeah.
But it wasn't. I think it wasn't because Transformers didn't do as good as they hoped.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that, but that's why the quality's way better. Because it's not the first, like, every so often they would bust out, you know, a serialized movie, like the Weather Dominator.
Yeah, like that.
All those. And those quality-wise were a little better than the regular show. They're very similar, but the G.I. Joe the movie is just totally different.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny they call it G.I. Joe the movie when it's like, it's just a serialized
it was
miniseries. But,
yeah, it's clearly they had bigger
a,
intentions for it. Yeah,
and it just didn't work out.
You know, every now and again there would be. I just remember the first time I saw G.I. Joe cartoons, and now we're gonna go way earlier. Was it the Weather Dominator or the Pyramid of Darkness? I think Pyramid of Darkness was later. Weather Dominator might have been the first one with the heavy water.
It's one of the first ones.
Where Snake Eyes goes into the Arctic.
Yeah, and he runs into that blind guy.
Yeah, and then he gets the dog, gets Timber. But he's still in his old costume.
I think that's the second movie because that was the
Weather Dominator, Pyramid of Darkness,
the Mass Device.
The Mass Device, that's what it was. The Mass Device, the Weather Dominator, the Pyramid of Darkness, and then the Broadcast Energy Transmitter. Because they were almost all some Cobra Tech, except for this one. This was not Cobra Tech. Well, I guess
this was
Broadcast
Joe
Energy
Tech.
Transmitter. Joe Tech. This
BET.
Yeah.
But it's funny that the BET says BET on it. No wonder the Cobra's found. It's like, if you didn't want it to get hijacked, why did you label it? It says it like in two spots, like just the BET. It's like, what are you putting stickers on it for?
The Broadcast Energy
Like,
Transmitter.
it's obviously that thing right there that says BET on it. Here's a complaint I have.
Oh yeah.
Why did they make it take place in the snow when they didn't come out with any snow vehicles that way? Everybody's in a hammock.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you make it conducive to havoc conditions? Why didn't it take place in the jungle?
Yeah, so Frostbite was the year before, or not Frostbite. Frostbite was the Snowcat driver, and that might have been 2 waves before.
Yeah, it's like, why aren't there snowcats in this?
Iceberg?
Iceberg did come out in that. He was like the 86, because there's a lot of, it was like the 86 wave for the most part.
Yeah.
Just when they were actually making it.
Okay.
I'm assuming, because it had like the havoc. Like snow jobs in it. Iceberg's not.
Yeah.
And there was only, it's like, oh, this is going to take place in snow, and we're going to have one snow guy in there.
Well, and it's also just kind of strange because, like, it's like these reptilian, these snake, Cobra Law, but then it's in the Arctic, their base. I mean, I guess it's kind of
coincidentally right next to where the BET is, which I'm not sure why it was there.
Well, I mean, I know why they wanted it, because it was to pollinate their spores or whatever. To
they had that plan where they're gonna. But it was like, why is G.I. Joe here? I know where Cobra's there, because even though Cobra didn't even know that Cobra Law was right there.
No.
They like just
this has
stumbled
been
across it.
Dormant for millennia or whatever.
Yeah, it was like very like convenient. Where it's like, hey, we found Cobra Law.
Yeah, it's just right over there.
Right where the BET that we're trying to capture is.
Yeah.
That big machine that says BET on it that just fried Serpentor, and Serpentor gets captured.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's escaped. They send Roadblock and a crew to go get the Cobras, and the other guys go back to base.
Because they got whacked pretty good. And then Flint says, it's time for us to whack back. And then, like, puts a clip in.
We've got the BET and Serpentor, General Hawk. The Fang Gang's bound to take a whack at him.
And we'll need all the Joes we can get to whack back.
There's a funny line. It's not a funny line, but it just sounds funny the way Alpine says it. Because when they're trying to save Serpentor, and like the alarm cable has been cut, so Gung Ho runs over. He's like, the alarm's cut. Alpine's like, do you know how to splice or something? He's like, oh, time for some on-the-job learning. So he's like getting shot at, trying to. So you're just gonna splice it together? Well, but then Alpine goes to cover him when Nemesis and Force is on his way over there, and Alpine goes, keep splicing!
Keep splicing!
It's an alarm cable, right? So if they splice it back together, the alarm starts going off? Cobra's here! I don't hear any alarm.
Well, he eventually splices it back together and it goes off.
The alarm.
A little too late. Because Falcon gets in trouble, because Falcon was supposed to be
Oh, yeah. And
watching.
He was showing, was it Baroness or Zorana? Who dressed up this time?
Zorana, but that was earlier.
Okay.
We're going a little out of sequence because I jumped ahead. Because then he took Jinx. And Jinx was like, aren't you? He went to go hit on Jinx. because she's working on a vehicle.
These guys don't know G.I. Joe, and they don't know how to recap a movie.
She's like, aren't you supposed to be watching the cameras or whatever to make sure that Serpentor doesn't get saved? And he starts saying, oh, that's impossible for them to get in here. And he names up all the stuff they're doing, like, as they're doing it.
Yeah. You know, there's certain things about this that makes it feel like they did have real screenwriters. Like, as opposed to just the cartoon of, you know, like, the problems are always so simple that there's only one way to solve them or whatever. You know, so there's certain beats like that. They'd have to do this, and then they cut to them doing that, followed by this.
Cool, they did that.
Yeah, that's like good screenwriting. But, you know, keeps blasting happens. What do you yell to somebody who's under fire while they're trying to splice cables together? Keeps blasting.
Well, Gung Ho was probably about to stop.
Yeah, I guess you're
Alpine
right.
was like, come on.
You can do it!
And it wasn't this Gung Ho.
No, nope. It was the old bare-chested gung-ho out in the
original.
snow. Cobra Commander. So, you know, we think we're going to get this reveal, but instead they hit him with this pod of some spores that mutates him, but his mask falls
Well,
off.
hold on.
Oh, okay.
But before they do that,
Okay.
same scene, but it's funny because in that scene, like Globulus, I think, tells the Divine Planet how they're going to launch these spores into outer space, and then they use the broadcast energy transmitter to fry them, and it'll send them back to the Earth, and it'll turn everybody into these like dumb zombies.
Yeah.
And then they literally use the same spores on Cobra Commander, and it turns him into a snake. It's like, I thought it was turning him into zombies. He's clearly a snake, and he's not any dumber than he was because he attacks at the end as a snake.
Yeah, he just becomes a snake.
Yeah, he's no different.
It's
He's
the
just a
exact
snake.
same sport. So
Yeah.
maybe going to space changed them or something, or no, they just.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, why do these spores work, but the other ones you got to send out outer space?
You know, it's funny because he's not in his hood. If there was ever a time to utilize the hood versus the shield dynamic, it's when you release a bunch of spores in his face, right? So picture this: Cobra Commander's in his
That
hood,
shield would protect him.
right? If it didn't do that, if it didn't have like
He
filtration,
should be like, oh,
and
thank
shit,
God for this face shield I got on.
they're like, poof.
That was close.
And he's just like, maybe wipes the film off
Well, that's
wiggy,
a
wiggy,
win.
wiggy, with a little rag. a little squeegee. Wipes it off. Haha, you fool, Burgess Meredith. But it's and like under the hood it would have looked rad too, because it like would have like shaped and pushed and, you know, rips the hood off and you know, but instead no, the mask just kind of falls apart, I think, doesn't it?
Not till a little bit later.
Okay.
When him and Roadblock hook up.
Okay. Yeah.
Which Snake Eyes in the cartoon very underutilized because he's there and he just gets captured and.
Yeah, Snake Eyes versus Snake Eyes in the comic versus Snake Eyes in the
Totally different.
Oh, just completely different.
Night or day.
Night.
Like he was nothing in the cartoon.
Yeah.
He didn't even fight Storm Shadow in the cartoon.
No, Spirit did, and if I'm not mistaken, Spirit wins. Now,
And so did Quick Kick.
yeah, okay, and both those are cool characters. I think Spirit Iron Knife is one of the coolest shows they ever made. I think he deserves his own series. Like I would love a comic series.
But he's not a ninja.
No, he's not a ninja. But I would love a story arc, an origin story, or, you know, there's probably right now, and somebody in the comments is yelling, "Dude, haven't you read that?" And no, we don't know G.I. Joe as much as we think we do.
Where do you live that doesn't have a comic book shop?
But a Killer Spirit Iron Knife story, and well, I think it's, you know, cool that run-in with Storm Shadow is also neat. It's a neat little like kind of contrast of individuals there. Storm Shadow's a freaking ninja, you know. You know, he just wipes the floor with just about anybody. But yeah, I think Quick Kick's a Hollywood stunt man.
Well, he's also barefooted. Obviously knows some martial art. He can walk barefoot in the snow without being phased by it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, and then you have like, what is it? Issue 21, the silent Snake Eyes issue, where you just realize that Snake Eyes is just on a next level of badassery.
Well, also, Snake Eyes is Larry Hamlin's favorite character.
Well, it is everybody's favorite character.
And that's why eventually the comic was called, remember what it was called?
Yeah, Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe was about it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You know, and that all makes sense, but in the comic they're like, hey, you can be shipwrecks, buddy. You're put a wig on. You're in a rock band now.
Yeah, it's kind of there. Like he got attacked by work. He did help break out when they were gonna put Cobra Commander in the like holding cell type thing that they had all the Joes in that they had captured. Like,
Okay, yeah.
And Cobra Commander's like, yeah, it's a trap, and that's how he gets roadblocked to hold back, and everybody else gets attacked by the plants.
Oh, yeah, the
And then
plant.
Cobra Commander and Roadblock sneak off the other way.
That's also a killer G.I. Joe movie reoccurring theme. Like underwater, there was those weird tentacles. Yeah. Always some plant coming after him.
Like, could G.I. Joe just finally fight Cobra for once?
Yeah, they're like,
because they didn't make any plant stuff back then.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta go in the garden.
well, the funny thing was they could relentlessly kill plants on cartoons, and so like finally they're good. Finally, they're good shots. You have to hit the base of the plant, and then all of a sudden they're dead-eyed dick out here shooting the base of these plants, breaking off and defeating and getting the heavy water. Yeah, the fact that it was in the snow was a little bit goofy, and then didn't have snow people. The fact that they pushed some characters that maybe get rid of Duke, get him
Cobras
injured.
were all driving stuns.
Oh yeah, they were.
Mindbender's driving one of the stuns. The stuns came with the Motor Viper.
Yeah.
And Mindbender, he's a mad scientist. He makes Serpentor and he can drive stuns.
Yeah.
Because he had like Destro and Firefly in his, I think. I was like, why is Mindbender driving a stun?
Don't worry, I'll drive.
So I got
Like he had to grab stun keys from some stun driver who was, flabbergasted.
I don't think there was a stun driver out there. And there might have been. Yeah, there was, because they had because everybody's bundled up. That's another bad thing about them making it in the snow.
Yeah.
You put it in the snow, and everybody's got this Arctic gear on, and there's no action figures that represent
That do that,
you
yeah.
can play to reenact it if you wanted to. The snow was just a weird thing,
Yeah, a weird choice. But snow sells.
apparently.
It's
And they,
yeah.
well, it seems like if I was on the animation team, I'd be like, I don't want to do that because we got to make it snow all the time. There's a funny scene when Cobra Commander, before he gets turned into the snake, and Nemesis Enforcer punch. He's like, "Oh, it's good to see you guys again." And Nemesis Enforcer like backhands him, but then he makes a run for it. And he goes to hop in the stun, and like it's totally like a blizzard. And then as soon as it changes scenes, as soon as he jumps in the stun, it's not snowing at all. Which that's kind of nitpicky, but
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, hey, it stopped snowing. So as soon as he got in the stun, it just quit. Because we meet the new Joes, Chuckles, Jinx, Big Law, Law and Order. And supposed to
Tunnel
be
Rat?
Falcon, but Falcon's not there. Yeah, and Tunnel Rat.
And Tunnel Rat.
They were supposed to be 6, but there were only 5 because Falcon was on his date with Zorana. So we meet the new Joes, which is really funny because I'm watching this training thing. They're using like live explosives to the point that like there's explosions. Big Law and Tunnel Rat are on the same little course, and they're dodging these explosions that are real. Beachhead's got this controller that he's controlling all.
Actively trying to kill them.
Yeah, he's trying to. And at the end, when they ring the bell, because they got to get to the other side and ring the bell, and like Big Law does it, and he shoots and shows off his basketball skills with that grenade that goes in. Tunnel Rat goes through the tunnel and he comes out, and they high five each other. And
Yeah. Great scene.
and Beachhead is so pissed. He throws the controller down and it shatters. And it's like, did you want to kill them? It's like a teacher whose goal is to fail you. It's like, oh man, they made it.
They made it.
They were supposed to die.
Die.
Because everybody was using like live explosives. I was like, how many Joes don't make it through this? I never hear about.
Like, well, what he wanted to see was Tunnel Rat's little bandana floating down from an explosion.
Oh, now we're down to 3.
You're up next. I don't recommend the blindfold, little lady.
Jinx got off totally easy. She gets a little bow staff.
Yeah.
And they do that. It's like she has no danger of getting killed.
None. And then she actually swept him, right? Like, knocks him down when she puts her blindfold on.
After she put the blindfold
Like
on.
my blind
Funny because
master.
it sounds, when he beats her, it sounds like he says, "You're pathetic," but it sounds like he says, "Shit, you're pathetic."
Shit. Pathetic.
She said her blind ninja master. Now, to all the comic book readers, we assume that meant the blind master of the Arashikage, but they never touch on that specifically. But she would later on in the comics be introduced as Arashikage.
Well, isn't she like Storm Shadow's cousin?
I don't know. What was her file card name?
I don't know.
I mean, the Rashkaga.
I should have it. I do.
Oh, there
Her
we go.
name is Top Secret.
Oh, well, there we go.
Love that movie.
Top Secret.
She's from California.
Yeah, oh, no, her name is Secret Top.
Oh, it's backwards.
Okay, so what does it say? Yes, look, see, we can do our homework right now. She discovered that her family had been ninjas for generations and was officially initiated into the clan. Okay, the clan spelled with a C, so I assume they're not talking about the clan. Jinx was recruited for the G.I. Joe team by Snake Eyes, who I assume just gave her a call.
Well, he couldn't have texted.
Email didn't exist
like,
either.
Who is this? I'm gonna hang up. Say something. Okay, damn prank caller.
You know. Oh, here we go. The Secret Mountain is studied 7 silent forms with the Blind Master. So that would be a definite reference to the Blind Master, and not just to say her master was blind, or just kind of vaguely reference it like it does in the movie. That would be the actual Blind Master that is in the Rashkagi clan. She has
got killed.
Yep.
He got blown up.
Oh.
Billy.
He got the Blind Master did? Yeah.
Yeah, they scrap iron blew up their van because
it-
Billy lost his eye and his leg.
Yep, and then it was the Hard Master who was killed by Zartan
Yes.
earlier, and the Soft Master, he lived.
Because Zartan was hired to kill Snake Eyes.
The Blind Master, played by
Wu-Tang.
yeah,
RZA.
in the movie. Yep, I have that figure.
He was fat in the comics.
No, the Soft Master was fat.
No, he was too.
The Blind Master
he wasn't
was
like fat, but he was an overweight guy. Like the Rashkaji, they loved them some food. They were a chubby bunch.
Okay. Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes apparently says, "Hey, this ninja might be a great addition to our team. Let's have her fight Beachhead with a bow staff." Bam, she said, with a blindfold on.
Yeah. Get past Beachhead.
Then good enough for us. Beachhead, the guy who can't stop these other 2 recruits.
I think if you can get past Beachhead, you're pretty gold. He's literally trying to kill you. He's got live explosives and he's trying to blow you up, and he's mad when he can't.
Yeah, and what was the thing? Law and Order. Order brings back the
live dynamite.
The live dynamite.
It almost gets them all 3 killed.
Yep.
Did you know that Duke was originally supposed to die?
No, I didn't. But that makes sense, you know. The
They're always killing Duke.
Well, the G.I. Joe movie killed Optimus Prime.
That's why they didn't do it, because they took it to test audiences, or it was either test audiences didn't like it, or like there was like a lot of backlash about Optimus Prime, so like we can't do that, so they just changed it to a coma. So that's why it seems kind of like he dies. Everybody's crying because he's in a coma, but he was supposed to die in that moment.
Oh, okay.
I love it at the end when they're like, "Hey, good news! Duke came out of his coma." Conveniently, like, was it a 3-day coma? It's like, how?
A 3-day coma. Like it would be life altering if you were spent 3 days in a coma. But then you're like, in G.I. Joe terms, pretty weak.
Well, it's also funny because they show him right before he fades out. Because he got stabbed here.
Yeah.
So he's got a blood mark. Then they pan to something else, and they pan back, and the blood mark's here. And they pan out to something else, and then they show him again, and the blood mark's here. And it's like, how'd you guys screw that up? Because it wasn't like the shirt was ripped or anything. It was just like, color it red. So it's like you just color. It's like, it wasn't like this happened and they showed him 15 minutes later and it was in a different. It's literally the exact same scene.
Falcon fails to do his duty, and Falcon is exiled, and Sergeant Slaughter takes him.
Duke sticks up for him. Come on, he's my half brother. Give him a chance. I know there's a Joe in there. And that's when they give him the second chance. Like, he can be with us, but he's got to get through Slaughter's.
So that's before Duke's in the coma.
Yes.
So Duke goes in the coma once he's already been shipped off.
And then they take him to Slaughter's place, and they make him walk all the way there. And then they're like, we gotta, because he parachutes down, and then he finds them.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right. And see you back at the place, and they're all on motorcycles. Sergeant Slaughter's in his giant wheelchair, yeah. And they go back and it's like, hey, you better run or you're gonna miss breakfast. So they get back. There's like a million plates on the table. All like everybody had like 12 plates of food.
Like they haven't done dishes.
Yeah,
in a
just in the
month.
middle of the table, and they're just like picking their teeth. Like, they're like, sorry, you took too long, Falcon. There's no food for you. And like hours in movie time, or in their world, go by, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go infiltrate the Terradome, and Mercer's gonna get us in because he knows, he used to be a Viper.
They never took away his key card.
Yeah, he still knows. He didn't change shit. And that's what Falcon's like.
He's got a garage door opener.
Falcon's like, well, why don't we make it interesting and not take weapons? And so I was like, that's a great idea. And the other guys are like, what the? And so, like, Falcon still hasn't eaten. So he's walked all the way back there, missed his breakfast, went through a brief training, and now it's like, 7 hours after he should have. He probably hasn't eaten in close to 24 hours. Like, hey, let's go storm a base.
Without breakfast or guns.
Yeah. It's like, you should be like ready for a nap.
With that vehicle, he just called it a glorified wheelchair or a giant wheelchair. It basically was.
It looked weird.
It was a tracked vehicle, held just him,
yeah.
and then had rockets or something on the side. And then right in the middle is Sergeant Slaughter's giant chest. So if you wanted to shoot like center mass, you were killing Sergeant Slaughter. Who, by the way, watching cartoons the other morning with my granddaughter, and we're watching the Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
The movie
The
or
old one, the old cartoon that had the two old Italian dudes, and
the cartoon or live
it was live action into a cartoon, so there'd be a little live
did
action.
They like host?
Yeah,
kind of Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, and then Sergeant Slaughter showed up. Yeah, and they're like, "Oh no!" He's like, they get a phone call, and they're like, "I'm on my way over to pick up my steam machine and blah 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 blah, and you better have it ready, or Sergeant Slaughter will have something for you guys." And he hangs up the phone. And he's like, "Oh no, he sounds like a pretty rough dude," or whatever, And then in walks Sergeant Slaughter, and I'm like, "Oh, it's Sergeant Slaughter!" And now he's looking at me like. Who's this guy? I'm like, kind of a big deal, trust me. All right. This is the big crossover.
Read my lips, old boy. Hit the deck and give me 5.
And then the next episode, it's Lyle Alzado. Just randomly Lyle Alzado. And he's playing Lyle Alzado. So bizarre.
Well, Falcon's with them, and when they go to the base,
Gotcha.
Sergeant Slaughter puts a bomb on something in there, and then they're gonna go and they're gonna leave Falcon behind because Serpentor's like slapping the shit out of him, and they're all outside, and they're like, "Oh, let's go," and they're like, "Wait, where's Falcon?" And they're like, "Who cares? Like, all of us go or none of us go."
Oh yeah.
And Serpentor's like, "You can't hold out forever," because the bomb was set for 15 minutes. It gets down to 5. And Falcon's like, "I don't have to hold out forever. Just 5 more minutes." Like, how do you know that? You didn't even see Sergeant Slaughter attach the bomb. Nobody discussed, I'm going to put a 15-minute timer on this bomb. He just somehow knew exactly how much time was left on the timer.
Roadblock. Where is he caught? When is he caught? He gets a blast of spores too, and he just goes blind. He doesn't get turned.
Yeah, it was something else though, because Nemesis Enforcer spritzed him with something.
Spritzed him.
He went blind. So that's why.
Was it like a?
He's like
okay.
I think it was from his hand. I don't know. He threw something at him.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because in the beginning when Pythona breaks into the base,
she blows something at some people and they just
and she's like throwing things like face huggers at people and is putting spores and they're like pulling their own. She kills all these cobras and nobody even cares. You killed like 10 dudes getting in here.
Yeah.
To get to Serpentor, and it was I've seen you in a dream.
And that's where it was so intense. I think that was probably some of the first parts I saw ever. How do they eventually beat the threat of Globulus and Cobra Law? Some infighting there, isn't there? Cobra Commander.
Well, it's funny because it seems like Globulus kind of doesn't like Serpentor that much.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see. First of all, he's got none of his DNA in him. It's like, how are you going to lead Cobra Commander with that? Or how are you going to lead Cobra without being...
Yeah, but like every time Serpentor says something, Globulus is kind of like... he's like, he does everything but give him the eye roll. He's like, all right, whatever.
Only got the one eye to roll.
He's rolling his hidden eye. He's like,
and then it falls
because
out.
they steal the BET,
Yep.
and so they have it. So the Joes have to go rescue it after Duke is already in his coma, and that's when they all go, because that's when Jinx is with them too, and then Falcon gets in a fight with Serpentor,
Yep.
and he ends up taking out Serpentor and Globulus.
And Roadblock comes. I'm really trying to shoot one.
That line, didn't it?
Yeah. So back to Roadblock.
Well, the Joes happen to be near Cobra Law. And that's when him and Cobra Commander, because Cobra Commander is a full-on snake now, and he's completely wrapped around Roadblock.
Yep.
And
Yeah, doesn't he have
fall,
little
and
arms?
they-
He has little arms.
He might still have little arms. But then they roll down, because
Yeah.
him being wrapped around him makes him round like a wheel.
Yeah.
And so they roll down, and they roll down to where the Joes are conveniently located, and they're like, hey, it's Roadblock. He's like, and he hears Lifeline talk.
And he says, "Come on,
Me say it?
oh, do it for me."
He says, Lifeline!
Live. Which we went back and watched. He says it twice over like
Yeah.
a 3-second.
If that.
Lifeline? Lifeline! Lifeline!
It has occupied so much of my mental space for fucking 40 years, 35 at least. Live. I swear he says it 8 times. It's a 4-minute segment. Live. After Roadblock finds his metaphorical and actual lifeline, the Joes regroup. Don't they defeat Cobra Law by cooking it with the BET?
They end up managing to fry the spores. I think once they got in the Earth's atmospheres, they like refried them.
Gotcha.
And saved the day somehow. I should know this better because I just watched the movie the other day.
Or because we're doing a piece on it. But
Hey, at least I rewatched it.
if you've seen the movie we're talking about, go ahead and tell us what happens in the comments.
But they saved the day, and at the same time, Duke is miraculously out of his coma. And
Right on time.
all of the bad cobras end up falling into this big crack that Globulus made, ironically. He made the ground separate, and then him and Serpentor and all them end up getting thrown in it. And then Falcon's stuck on the other side, and the whole thing's going to blow. And that's when Sergeant Slaughter swings Jinx around.
Yeah.
So once again, he says, and about the same guy, either all of us go or none of us go. Like, all the Joes were going to die to save Falcon. They're like, this guy's a piece of shit. It's his fault we're here in the first place.
This is Nepo guy just is like gets Duke's my uncle.
Duke's out of his coma. Damn it! Now we gotta save Falcon. We could have left him.
I know. we lost your nephew. He died now.
It's his half brother.
His half brother, whatever. Nephew, half brother. It's his half brother. Jeez.
Yeah.
I want to dive deeper into that. Because I guarantee.
I don't know why they're.
It's okay. So what happened here? Does Duke's dad has a separate family that he found out about later on? I don't think that's the case. So it's Duke's mom. Wait, Duke's mom had to remarried and had
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. Duke's dad was always moving around.
All they had to do was make Falcon have blonde hair, and they could have avoided this. But they're like, wait, they got different colored hair. They can't be brothers. Half brothers.
Half brothers. They got different colored hair. They can't be brothers. It's true. That'd have been a lot to drop on a 1987 audience.
Yeah, well, they made the figures probably before they planned. I don't know if his file card says that they're brothers or not, or half brothers.
I don't think so.
And yeah, it was Don Johnson that played his voice.
Oh yeah,
That's how you knew it was theatrical. Is you got Don Johnson, Burgess Meredith.
yeah. Don Johnson on the heels of Miami Vice. This is
Yeah.
post Miami Vice.
Yeah, 'cause it was still
but-
kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but before Nash Bridges. I never watched Nash Bridges.
Yeah.
I'm not 1,000,000,000% sure Don Johnson's in it, but I'm pretty sure Don Johnson's
I
in
wouldn't
Nash
be
Bridges.
surprised.
I don't know what it's about. I assume it's, Bridges and Nash, which I assume is near Nashville.
I thought his name was Nash Bridges.
Oh, maybe it is.
I just
That's a
assumed-
dumb name.
He called me Nash.
Nash Bridges. I always thought it was a place.
I don't know.
In the comments, if you know of Nash
once again. Because I'm not doing my homework.
No, I'm not.
Screw that.
If you can tell.
We do far too many episodes to be doing a bunch of research before each one.
Stories. How we remember those toys.
Pretty much. This is not like a knowledgeable thing. So, I don't know, you can learn some stuff. Did you know Don Johnson was Falcon's voice?
It is literally...
What, you can read the opening credits?
How am I supposed to know you're supposed to read Mr. Literate over here?
You didn't know Cobra Commander was in Roadhouse?
Like, somewhere somebody's written an unauthorized biography of all things G.I. Joe related. It's just,
That we don't have access to.
Yeah, that we just haven't read.
All right.
Well, don't get upset about stealing your cloud, all right? We got 5 followers.
Okay, how do we end this?
Well, I think we ended the same way Sergeant Slaughter ended. We all go home where nobody goes home.
All right. I think
Yeah, I agree. It was anticlimactic, okay? And then out came but that was it. But that was it for the Sunbow series, and then you had that other one with Scoop, and
that was the very end of Sunbow, huh?
Yep, that was an effective end of Sunbow series.
So, like, we killed everybody.
They didn't kill anybody that important, though. I mean,
Cobra
Commander. Cobra
Commander comes back.
Yeah, in the next series or whatever.
It's like, how did he get
unsnaked
human again?
I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, that's how we got here.
My arms are growing. Yeah, he just evolved. He evolved back into a man. Like a year later.
Yeah, sounds ludicrous, doesn't it?
That's ridiculous. That's the most far-fetched thing I've ever heard.
If you believe that.
I wonder why they didn't have Cobra Law in the comics.
Probably because Larry Hama was still selling a lot of comics.
I think they pitched like Globulus and Nemesis Enforcer and all that to him.
And he just said,
nope.
Nope.
Not doing it.
We're not.
There's no way.
No way.
There's no way. I don't even want to write the file cards.
File cards. You're contractually obligated.
This is the dumbest thing.
He's like, oh god, I'm gonna have my neighbor do it again. What? Nothing. Yeah, it did pretty much wrap that up. There was no widespread G.I. Joe cartoons on television after that, until like years later when Renegades and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, series 2.
But that with Scoop and all that, and the Alley Vipers.
89 or 90.
Yeah, but like I mean,
those were terrible.
And they weren't on like syndication. They weren't on like every single day.
I thought they were on like every morning. Like when
they might have broadcast, but just the once. They weren't on again and again and again because there wasn't enough episodes of it. Wasn't it only like 12 episodes or something total?
No. No.
Oh.
Incorrect. No.
Oh, wow.
No, because
Damien's going to be in the comments saying no.
We're commenting with you. Hey, right. No, because I have one disc set.
Okay.
That's a volume 1, and there's a volume 2.
Okay.
So there was a lot, because that's when Falcon got on Spark.
Oh,
the only continuity is that
Falcon's still trash. He got on drugs. Yeah. Falcon got hooked on drugs.
Because Sonic Fighter, why'd they let him be a Sonic Fighter? Say, hey, we'll promote him to Sonic Fighter. Then he got on drugs. He gave into the Hitman, or the Headman.
You are kidding me. This is in these cartoons? Because I did not watch these. I'm sorry.
I used to watch them. They were like...
Sounds so terrible.
9th grade in the morning.
On Spark.
Yeah. Those are trash.
Wow. Wow.
I don't even think they got Fred or Cobra Commander's voice to come in. I think they had a different guy. All right. I think that's it for this episode. Probably not the best review of this movie.
I completely disagree.
But I think one way or another we covered everything.
Yeah. And stay off Spark, you know?
Yeah. If you see the Headman, he's bad news.
Turn around. Go the other way.
Yeah. Just anything you see Falcon do, just don't do that. Unless you got some kind of cool half brother that can bail you out of everything. Because they went head to head again in the Spark episode. It's like, how many chances is that?
Thank you very much. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave all sorts of trash in the comments.
And we'll see you next time.